Hello everyone, and in this episode I'm going to share with you one of the most affordable brand new condominium that was selling very well in the year 2020 and 2021. So let's look at it. Why is this condominium selling so well despite having more than 2,200 units? Okay, so without further ado, let's dive deep in. So this condominium is none other than Treasure at Tampines in District 18. So disclaimer first, the findings over here are actually for educational purposes and based on my own statistical findings. So it doesn't mean that this is a product for you to buy for investment or for own stay. All right, so if anything, please feel free to check back with me. Okay, so before we start, we want to look at the location. So this location is right smack in the heart of the Tampines area. Okay, let me change the red color arrow. Right smack in the heart of Tampines area. So previously it was HUDC, Tampines Court, and it was en bloc, bought over by Simlian. Let's look at the details. So developer is Simlian, Treasure Private Limited. This is on the huge, massive size of 65,000 square meter, a very big land size. That's why they are able to build up to 2,203 units. Okay, 99-year leasehold and 2.8 ratio, which gives you a gross floor area of close to 180,000. This is approximately 4 or 5 times the condominium size, typical condominium size in major areas. Okay, so what makes it so interestingly that is highly sought after by HDB, who actually owns 75% and private people 24%. Okay, let's dive in what exactly is in store for this Treasure at Tampines. Okay, so as usual, before we start, we like to understand the GLS land price. So in fact, this is actually brought through an en bloc exercise. The break-even price is 1166 on a huge, massive land size of 65,223 meters square. Okay, let's recalculate the expected launch price by Simlian. Okay, so we computed if it's launching at 20% gain, right, the PSF will be around 1,004. 25% gain, it will be around 1,458 PSF. Okay, let's look at the historical transaction prices. So like I say, this condominium is selling so well. You see, it actually forms a significant straight line. That means developer did not even price or mark up most of the units from the day it started selling in 2029 until most recently January 2022. So this 2 years plus, practically every day they are selling. Okay, every day they are selling. So technically they are in average, right? On average, we can see that the price are actually within the 1,500 PSF mark. Let's look at the transactional prices. Yes, as mentioned, you see these are the transacted PSF. It's on 1,004 to 1,005 PSF. Okay, we notice that there's one unit called subsale. Subsale means what? It means the first owner that bought and subsequently sold off to another buyer while it's still under construction. So this is quite phenomenon in big condominium projects like this. Just something for you to take note. All right. Yeah. So is Treasure at Tampines worth buying? Okay. So let's look at the other price performance of the price comparison in the current Tampines area. So we have the Tapestry, Treasure at Tampines, the Alps Residences, and Santorini. Okay. So note that Santorini and Alps Residences both are so much more lower. In fact, below 1,100 PSF. Whereas Treasure Tampines is crossing close to 1,004 PSF, which is similar to Tapestry closing close to 1,400 PSF. So let's look at their individual price performance. Okay, so the historical price trend is as such. Yeah, so the overall in that area was currently around slated as 1,300 PSF. Let's look at what are all the performance of the condominiums in the area. Okay, let me erase it off. Okay, so without further ado, Santorini. Santorini, you see, it was first launched close to 1,002 PSF. After that, it dived, it went up, and it more or less stagnated. Okay, so technically, we can say that this is almost a horizontal straight line where the prices are fluctuating between the 1,100 PSF range thereabout. Okay, so that's Santorini. Let's look at the other one, the Tapestry. Tapestry was actually launched much more later in 2018. The price actually touches the 1,400 mark. And why is it still selling so well? you can see that it's actually starting to go up. The reason because during the phase 2 period, developer actually stage up prices. What does this mean to the people who bought earlier? This means that the people who bought earlier are actually sitting on paper profit. And in no time to come, this is close to TOP stage. We can see that in TOP stage, right, there are prices transacting close to 1,600 PSF. Okay, so that's tapestry. Next, we look at one of the existing condominium, named as the Elf Residences. That was actually launched in 2016, 2017 period. Okay, you can say this is also how the developer edge up prices, that it crosses the medium average in Tampines area. All right, so being in the resale market, right, of course, there are people who wants ready unit. That's why people are willing to pay a little bit higher to get a ready unit rather than those who bought earlier where they probably need to rent and put up with the parents' place, relative place, or etc. Okay, but this gives them an added advantage. Notice that the Elf Residences, right, has prices moving up by at least 150 to 200 PSF. Okay, so I'm not going to touch on so much on the Elf Residences. Let me just erase this off. We look at the one that we are commenting, Treasure at Tampines, and why is it selling so well? You can see that those who bought initially, right, gets the better deal. They are actually buying at around 1,300 PSF, and slowly developer actually inch up prices. Can you see that? That currently we see prices hitting 1,500 PSF mark. So imagine you have the first owner who bought at 1,300 PSF, you will be sitting on good paper profit. So that accounts to why previously in the previous slide, there's this element called sub-sale, whereby the first seller is probably buying around here and subsequently sell off around here after meeting the 3-year seller stamp duty. Okay, so this gives them at least 150 to 200 PSF advantage for those who have bought earlier. Okay, let's look at the other slides. Yeah, so after having said that, people will say that Treasure Tampines, oh my God, it's like 2,200 plus unit. Is it too big for this kind of land size? So let's look at the livable space and of course the density as well. So I'm going to do a comparison with one of the condominium, the Elf Residences, which is also in Tampines. Okay, let's zoom down again on the land size. This is 65,000 versus 15,000. So it's approximately 4 times the size. Okay, plot ratio is the same. The number of units 626 and 2003 is approximately 3.5 times, and this is 3.5 times of these Elf Residences. Okay, so let's look at more detailed calculation. Okay, what's the livable space? So from there, right, I compute that the livable space, right, is around 319 square feet versus the Elf Residences 269 square feet. That is one of the main contributing factor why are people buying Treasure at Tampines. Okay, with the fact that more and more people are working from home, right? We need space, we need livable space. So this is how we compute. So in fact, the density over here at Tampines is much more lower than that of the Elf Residences. Okay, given the size of livable space. So I just break down into mathematical format for all of you for easy understanding. Okay, in fact, the Elf Residences has less than 19% spaces, much more smaller than Treasure at Tampines. So that is one of the contributing factor why people are buying Treasure at Tampines. Another thing of that is probably because, right, the significant profit margin made by developer around 20% thereabout, and also Simlian is also the developer plus the landowner. Okay, that means they do not have another additional markup, where probably developers such as big companies like CTL, they got to support this contract to a builder who actually mark up another price and before selling it to you. For Simlian, they are both a builder and a developer. So that accounts to why Treasure at Tampines is selling so well. Practically, units are selling every single day. Okay, even on weekdays, if you happen to be in a show flat, you see crowds going in and out, transacting. And I will say that some of the layout is really magnificent, big, and really spacious. So let's look at the next slide again. Okay, so let's look at location. This is right smack in the heart of the Tampines, Treasure at Tampines. So because of this massive condominium, right, the URA or LTA actually has a route for them to divert out to this PIE. Okay, so this Tampines then allows them to divert out to PIE without them crossing this big route over here. Okay, imagine 2,000 plus unit, it may cause a significant jump into this circles area. Okay, so that's why the Treasure Tampines developer actually wrote into LTA and have a road to open up for them to link to the PRE. Also, so it makes those who are drive more accessible to major expressway. Okay, we look at the URA map. In fact, Tampines is a very saturated and mature town. You can see that everything else are all flanked by residential estate, mostly being HDBs. Okay, yeah, so they are all denoted here, and they are also fueled by commercial activities over here, which makes some sense that why people are buying the 1-bedroom and 2-unit for rental purposes. Okay, and bear in mind that there is also close to Changi Airport. So in no time to come, when the economy opens up, when every country opens up, you'll see more of people traveling in and out of Singapore. In fact, it could be one of the best rental area compared to Loyang, where it's a hot favorite for air stewardess and cabin crew. Air stewardess and cabin crew. All right. So Tampines is also highly sought after by the cabin crew as well. Okay, one of them. So having said that, right? So what makes Treasure at Tampines so attractive? This is my personal preference. I personally like the 5-bedroom layout, a magnificent 1,711 square feet. So let me compute for you how much in square meter. Hold on a moment. Well, so this 1,700. Well, it's equivalent to how much? Guess. It's equivalent to 159 meters square, much more bigger than the typical EA or EM, where the sizes are probably 140, 145 thereabout. So it's much more bigger than a typical HDB EA or EM, executive maisonette, executive apartment unit. All right, so let's look at the layout. Let's discuss more on the layout. Okay, you can see that this is the main entrance coming in. Okay, very privacy because this area is more or less secluded, blocked up by this kitchen wall. Okay, so it allows you to enter into the kitchen. This kitchen is flanked by a yard, service yard with a utility room, with a washroom as well. Okay, we call this WC. Okay, next coming over here, a squarish layout living room and dining area, plus a longish balcony that allows you to do partition or whatsoever. Some people like to put planted area over here. So look at it, the bedrooms are very squarish that allows you to put in double size bed. I mean, I've personally been to the show flat itself. Yeah, all the 5 bedrooms allows you to put in double size bed, which is highly sought after. In fact, for families of 3 generations, this is also one of their favorite choices. Not forgetting there are sufficient bathroom 2, bathroom 3, attached bathroom, and so on and so forth. Okay, so this is one of the excellent layout. And in fact, the 5 bedrooms are transacting around 1.8 million to 2.2 million dollars. Okay, when it was launched initially, and there are many to choose from. Okay, so this is highly sought after by both HDB upgraders and private owners alike. Okay, as I said today, everybody is looking into space. They want bigger units. Okay, all right. So for more details, you can actually go onto my website, clementproperty.com/treasure at Tampines. All right, to do your own filter, to look at prices, etc. And it's selling pretty fast. And I received news that there's only balanced few units left. So this is the cheapest condominium that hit the headlines in year 2020 and year 2021. All right. And for other properties, where you want to be updated with, you can also go under my website, clementproperty.com, and do your own filter and searches. And if there's any doubts or queries, please feel free to drop me a call. All right. And with this, I'm going to end my session on one of the best-selling unit in Singapore for year 2020 and 2021. So my name is Clement, and I hope to see you soon in the next episode. Thank you. Goodbye.